Yo, Real Rap Coalition, man. We in the building. Y'all see the name. Y'all see what we doing here, man. Something different. I am Tony Khan's burner account.
Hey man, it's Art, man, the WWE stand, but I'm gonna do this AEW shit, see what it's about.
That's a fact, man. So, if y'all haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, you know what I'm saying? Got a whole lot of shit going on. Been running the numbers up lately. We're trying to diversify, bring in all anybody with any type of interest in some shit, that we're interested in. With that being said, motherfuckers did a WrestleMania recap. Go watch that if you haven't already. And hopefully we can try to continue doing this shit, at least for the pay-per-views, with everything. But
yeah, we got Backlash coming up next. Maybe we can do that.
That's a fact. I don't think the card, I'm not too hyped for what the card is going to be yet. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm
not seeing nothing cold yet.
Not nothing too bad. But Backlash is always like that.
Yeah, it'll be all right. It's fucking, it's what's left over after Mania. But
yeah.
All right, so AEW Dynasty 2024, man. Without getting into any of the matches specifically, how do we feel, Art?
First off, this is, like I said, I'm not an AEW fan through and through, but this is the first AEW anything I've ever sat through the entire time watching. Like, I never watched any Dynamite. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, but even though I still went back and seen some shit, so pretty much I watched everything fully. I never watched old Dynamite, never watched Collision, I've seen clips and seen reviews and stuff like that of stuff, so I know for the most part what's going on, or not even fully that, but I had to finally see for myself.
Yeah, and
I've been real critical about this shit.
I think, in my opinion, this probably is it's a good example of what, most of the AEW product is. You know what I'm saying? I think they were very much themselves, for better or worse, on this show. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I left feeling good about it, though. I left feeling like it was a good show. You know what I'm saying? There was only, one on the actual show, you know what I'm saying, not counting the pre-show. I think there was only one bad match, maybe two. It depends on how you feel about it. But
so is this one of the premier pay-per-views or is this okay?
AEW has 4 big pay-per-views that they do yearly. It's they used to, at least. Revolution, All Out, Full Gear, and Double or Nothing. And,
okay.
They added All In, which is the big, WrestleMania style event. So that's big. But the last year they've been adding shows, smaller pay-per-views, but they've been good. It was this, Wrestle Dream, World's End. They've just been adding things because I think they want to do 9 pay-per-views a year. They were talking about,
okay.
All
right. So, all right. That put things in perspective.
So this was the first Dynasty event.
Okay, because the number one thing I took away was there wasn't no big spectacles happening throughout the show. It's nothing crazy. We talk about the little bit of stuff that happened like that.
So
it was just match after match.
Was last month, and that was built off of Sting last match. You know what I'm saying? So that was some shit. And then the other things that they did on there. For here, the big selling point for the most part was the final 3 matches. I feel you know what I'm saying, the world title, Danielson versus Ospreay, and then FTR Bucks 4, and everything else was just kind of good surrounding it. We watched the pre-show, man. AEW pre-shows are always at least pretty good. The action is pretty good. This one in particular was just full of some shit that didn't need to be on there, in my opinion, but I understand it's to try to get people to, tune in and buy the pay-per-view and shit. I get it. Give people a pay-per-view payday, First match, Trent Beretta versus Matt Sydal. Shout out, Matt Sydal is one of my favorite underrated wrestlers. I was a fan of him.
Yeah. He was
Even he was go ahead.
Well, I'm about saying WWE, he was pretty much what they want. What Ricochet is pretty much what they wanted him to be in WWE.
Yeah, And
so he was,
I see like they'll put him on TV now. AEW puts him on TV, to help pad the stats of some guys. He's not a jobber because like he doesn't just get squashed and shit, but he puts
yeah,
on good matches with people and helps pad their resume. And I wish that I would like better things for him, but I'm always happy to see him wrestle.
yeah, he's really good. Like he's fire as a wrestler. Like, I mean, it's just the thing is like with Macedo, he's older now, and it's just people that does what he does
Well,
at
he
a higher
missed
level,
his
kind of.
prime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
smoked weed back then, so he missed his prime. It is what it is. I hate it, but
yeah,
I'm glad that he still gets to do some stuff.
yeah. So he's not gonna be. He's like it's not a chance that he'll be a
But
top guy.
he's a like he's in the archetype of the Ricochets, the Ospreys, all these kind of people. He's in their class of
Yeah,
athletes. you know. But so with that being said, and that's the other thing through here, I'm gonna have to explain all the stories to Art.
not for the most part. Like, because I watch like Cornet reviews about him sometimes.
I'm
So,
about to say
but
his shit
he's a
usually
very
is,
he has a very strong opinion on a lot of these things. So,
yeah, he does. So the best friends that broke up. Trent Beretta, he kneed Orange Cassidy in the fucking face. You know what I'm saying? So he I guess tried to hold Matt Sydal. I didn't see that segment, but people said like he slapped the shit out of him to set this up. You know what I'm saying? So it was to give Trent Beretta something to do with his new heel character. You know what I'm saying? I understand it. I don't think this and the next match needed to be on here to further that story, but I get it. I like Trent Beretta. Like
well, yeah,
I
I'm
prefer.
not going to keep referencing Jim Cornette, but out of all the people in that group that he like absolutely abhors, he gives Trent the most praise out of everybody.
I like Trent better than I like Chuck because Chuck, he I've seen like clips. He does good wrestling things, but Trent at
Yeah,
least feels like he always had like a little bit of edge to him and could have a singles run. Now
yeah.
last year they finally ran the big Santana and Ortiz breakup story in a similar fashion, and it was a Rampage story. And then it just
Santana
turned into
Ortiz,
anything.
they used to be LEX.
Yeah. So
Okay.
them motherfuckers, they did the whole story, and it was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? From all accounts, I wasn't watching Rampage at that time, but everybody said it was good. They had their blow off match and everything, but it just neither of them never went anywhere after that. I'm hoping that that's not what happens here. I'm hoping that Trent can at least have a mid card run if that's what's going to happen with this. You know?
Yeah, like this is my first time seeing him, and he didn't come off as the person that will be in some type. Because I know he got some type of comedy gimmick with his mother or some shit.
Yeah, his mom
Like
uses
he don't
drugs.
yeah, he doesn't really look like he look like he could be taken serious as a wrestler.
Yeah, he's rebranding himself, where this is, it's Wednesday. Tonight is Dynamite. They're supposed to have a segment, featuring them pretty prominently. So that'll be continued. But I say all that to say Trent Beretta won. I think I heard people say it was about like 7-8 minutes or something. It was okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, Matt Sydal is a good wrestler. Trent Beretta is a good wrestler. It served its purpose. He continued to beat the shit out Matt Sydal after the match, and then Chuck came out and ran him off, and he told him basically like, "Hey man, I still fuck with you, but you gonna have to let me know, what the deal is."
Okay.
And
So
so
this is Orange Cassidy didn't have a match today, right? So this is only time you seen Orange Cassidy in this pay per view.
yeah, and then Orange Cassidy comes out next because he got a tag match. Like I say,
Oh
this
yeah, okay,
match,
yeah, we did.
this and the other one didn't have they didn't both need to be on here. They both service
Right.
basically the same story. But Orange Cassidy and Katsuyori Shibata versus Shane Taylor Promotions. It's Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. It was to give Shane Taylor Promotions some time to be seen, on the pre-show. Orange Cassidy is a draw for AEW fans. You know what I'm saying? Katsuyori
Yeah,
Shibata, fantastic.
I like Shibata for what I seen. Orange Cassidy, I don't get him. I don't understand him. Like if he was just strictly a comedy gimmick, like an R-Truth or somebody, I would get it. But he seems like he's predominantly on the show a lot, and he
Well,
like
the whole
eventually.
the meme of Orange Cassidy is that like he's a lazy fucking slacker and shit. You know what I'm saying? He does puts his hands in his pockets and doesn't give a fuck about much of anything until he does. And then once
Yeah, I
he
get it.
does, he's genuinely like one of the best professional wrestlers, that's going. Like
Yeah,
motherfucker
I've
has like
seen.
bangers with Will Ospreay and what I'm saying, a whole bunch of people. He had a long title run where he got a belt over just through match quality, you know.
Yeah, okay. Because I
So
just don't understand like the concept. Like I don't understand the concept of
yeah,
like
and it's not for everybody. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like it's he but so, he comes out like while Trent's talking to, Chuck, and he just doesn't even look at Trent really, like he doesn't give a fuck about that shit. He's basically just no selling the fucking guy trying to hoe him. And I think that's like I see why people would be mad, but I think it's comedic because it's literally just him. He's like, oh man, like,
you don't think you don't think that type of shit is on this course though? Like
what do you mean?
I mean, it's been five. Like I don't feel like I've been hearing about this guy for 5 years, and it don't seem like he's changed anything about. I'm not like. Do you don't think that's
That's a
going to get
fair
old?
point. Like his gimmick is still the same, but I think people are still resonating with it. Now, I think like whenever he lost the belt the first time, he should have taken a break off TV. But he like,
Right.
injuries happened and visa shit, whatever. They had to give him the belt again, so he had to have another run with it. But I think after that, I think he should have been off TV for a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to
If
say maybe
if this
if he wasn't on so predominantly and been more of a
he
spectacle,
was
it'll be
always,
different.
like I say, he was always opening the card, you know what I'm saying? And like he had a great run. It was like, fantastic. But after that, take a little bit of time, you know what I'm saying? Relax, go, come back and the fans will miss you some more. He's doing something right now, it's all right, but I still think I would
Yeah,
prefer, if he was off for a little bit to give other people time to shine. But we'll see if this shit helps build Trent to
yeah,
anything. You know what I'm saying? As far as the match itself, the story leading up to this shit beyond the best friends thing was that like ever since that shit happened, Shane Taylor and them just are like picking on Orange Cassidy. They're like, hey, you ain't got nobody to help you, so we gonna beat the shit out you. You know what I'm saying? So like they've kind of been doing that. Anthony Agogo popped up a couple weeks ago and socked him in the fucking jaw or something. I can't remember.
yeah.
I know he
I like
punched him.
the I like the charisma on Anthony Agogo. I ain't never seen him talk
I
before.
I do not like Shane Taylor promotions. I have not been a
I
fan.
mean,
Like
they look kind of goofy and jobberish.
I'm in a Discord, where I talk about wrestling with people, and like every time like they're brought up, they're just like one of my least favorite things. It's not because I think they're individually terrible. My problem is Shane Taylor's whole gimmick is like, hey, y'all been sleeping on me and it's over with. But then he doesn't win a whole bunch of big shit, so no, it's not over with. Lee Moriarty, from all accounts, is a great wrestler, but he's just a bland wrestler. Like the only thing interesting about him is like he has a tiger mask and the fucking like wacky music and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he wrestles good, but like there's nothing really else about him. Anthony Agogo, I wasn't sold on him until he came back, but he's like he talks good and he's a great, like addition to their group to talk for them, I think. But he's a boxer, and in wrestling, every time a fucking boxer comes around, they're like, "Oh, their punch is so deadly." I'm like, "Okay, so everybody else punches aren't shit?" Like,
Right.
I hate that shit. But
I mean, in a sense, it makes sense, but like it does get overused.
my boy John Doe in the building. What up, Johnny?
What up,
Welcome
John?
back,
I don't
man.
even.
He said it's the duo we never knew we needed.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, so like I say, this match was good. I think it was better than the previous match. Like I say, Shibata is fucking fantastic. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping I said something after this. I'm really hoping that he kind of I think it'd be interesting if he went on to challenge for the Continental title after this shit, for Double or Nothing. I think that's a big match because, spoiler alert, Okada retained and we'll get to that later. But I think, Shibata wrestled Okada and shit, and he headbutted him in that motherfucking match, busted his skull open and shit. After that, like he almost died. He had
Yeah, I heard.
surgery for his brain
There
and
was a
all
rumor.
types of shit.
Had a rumor that
So,
he had to get his brain removed or some shit.
I think that like that would be a great like story, leading into that match. And I think the match would be fantastic. Just please don't kill yourself, Shibata. But it was a good match. You know, Orange Cassidy and Shibata won. A lot of people were expecting them to lose because of Trent Beretta fucking them over, and maybe that would have been the right call. I don't know. Like I say, I don't particularly care for Shane Taylor Promotions, but like if you do, it probably would have been the better call.
So just as far as like overness and uh just like importance, just if I'm talking breaking this down in WWE terms, and not because it's three black guys, is this like the equivalent to the Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, like that type of?
In what way?
Like as far as just importantness, like as far as like
No, they're
people
definitely
really
not
don't
as
give a shit.
important as the Hurt Business. No, they're
Oh,
like
okay.
who's a good like. It's like almost like a slightly lesser version of whenever they had the artist collective that was Sammy, Cesaro, and Shinsuke. It's
Okay,
like
okay.
it's motherfuckers that are like, oh, we've been overlooked, for too long, and we're not gonna take it anymore. They're like a lesser version of that,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, so that's even
So
worse. Okay.
yeah, like they're on the rise. Clearly, they're getting TV time and shit. Salute to them. But so that shit was fine. The final match on the pre-show was the trios title unification match. This has been a story that's been going on for a long fucking time.
Yeah, I've heard about this
Um,
story.
the Acclaimed versus Bullet Club Gold. You know what I'm saying? Bullet Club Gold, like they had a super group for a while. They were the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and they were because they all clicked up because they were gonna take on Adam Cole and his faction and shit because they had fucked him over, and then they became a team and never did anything Undisputed Kingdom related at all through their tenure. They just fucking did a bunch of trios matches and shit. And you knew where it was leading, obviously. I didn't think they would pull the trigger on it this soon, but the Acclaimed, when they won the trios titles, it was in a pretty good story, a good match, you know what I'm saying? But since then, they haven't done much of anything with the titles. I love the trios division. I like, 6-man tag team action. I think there's a lot of good trios capable in AEW, but they needed to lose these belts, man.
Yeah.
I like
What happened
the
to
Acclaimed.
what happened to Juice Robinson? Is he injured or some shit?
Yeah, he hurt himself like months ago. I think it was his
Okay.
leg, something like that. But he's been out for a while. But Juice
Yeah.
needs to come back soon. He was doing great things. Um, like I say, I think Bullet Club Gold probably needed to. Maybe they can do something, good with these titles. Hopefully, they can, help rebuild the division. The Guns, they're not, I'm not hugely a fan of them, but I respect them. They're good enough, what they do. They're good heels. They do, solid work in the ring. Jay White, when he cares, is fantastic. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of like what he's been doing recently. So I think that this is the clean break. They can go on, do some stuff, take the Acclaimed off TV for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree that they should split up, but at the very least, reevaluate themselves. Anthony Bowens has been carrying the Acclaimed for
Yeah.
months.
His offensive moves is kind of fire. Like I
Like,
fuck with it, and it's like his just charisma and shit too.
yeah,
Like when
he's
they're
very
coming out.
charismatic.
Yeah.
He doesn't often like phone stuff in. I like Max Caster. He
Yeah.
does some good things, but he hasn't really like been on his game as much lately. Billy
Yeah.
Gunn
Speaking
has
of him,
just
like
been the fucking boogeyman. I'm like, I said it during the match. I was like, okay, far be it for me to critique. I love that Tony Khan and them respect these legends so much. But Billy Gunn should not be a 60-year-old man, regardless of how big he is, should not be Jay White's fucking boogeyman. I
I said
get
the
it. His
same thing about.
sons, he can
Yeah.
beat the shit out of his sons. But like, come on, man. Like,
I said the same thing about Sting though. Like when he was the one, wasn't Sting like undefeated just for shit?
Sting
Like
was undefeated, but at least I kind of like get it with Sting because Sting wasn't really like beefing with like these caliber of guys for the most part. He stayed in tag team stuff with Darby Allin. So he was like fighting Ricky Starks and the Young Bucks, you know what I'm saying, and like this type of shit. It was like high caliber people, but like Jay White is a multi-time world champion, I believe. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I'm like, okay. And I don't subscribe. People love to do engagement farming online. Oh, they buried him and this and that. No, they didn't. That motherfucker is, still dominant in shit. He's doing story related shit. I get it. He broke into Billy Gunn's house and Billy beat the shit out of him until like he got himself disqualified so they could jump the shit out of him. But I'm like, come on, man. Don't have him just running away during the fucking match. Like,
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Then like Billy Gunn, it's not like Billy Gunn is a former like world champion himself. Like he was a
no.
tag. Like he wasn't
Yeah,
like he
he's
was
a
a preliminary
legend,
guy.
but like he's
Yeah.
not, you know what I'm saying? Like I
Like
say,
Sting was a
Sting,
world champion.
yeah,
Like,
Sting was a multi-time world champion. Has been in like fucking 4 different promotions or some shit.
like you want to do the same shit to fucking Road Dogg.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, like, and that's my point is like Matt Hardy is a different kind of a legend than like Goldberg was. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I think it's much easier to be, beat the fuck up. But hey, one thing about it, Billy Gunn at 60 years old, that motherfucker is in phenomenal shape, dog.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Salute to
Like
him. However, that shit, he does that shit. But Bullet Club Gold won. They're gonna unify the belts. I don't know what the new belt will look like, but I'm hoping it'll be, something, good looking. They've had these pink belts for a while, and I thought it was like kind of cool, but they never did nothing cool with them really. Every trio seems to have different versions of the belts though, so I think that's cool. House of Black had a different one. The Elite had a different one. You know, but it was a solid match. It was nothing crazy, but it did what
that
it
was the
needed
best
to
match
do.
out of the three.
Yeah, it did what it needed to do, and I appreciate that. And like I say, I don't know what's next for the Acclaimed, but I'm hoping either they
Um,
give an interesting story or they take them off TV for a little bit.
was there some controversy with the rap that Max Kessa did and shit? Or what?
Yeah,
Like
he was when he said it, I was like, I don't know if I fully understand. I was like, is that just a rape joke? Like I don't and somebody was like, yeah, basically like it was Vince McMahon shit. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I don't know if he's allowed to like if he should be making that joke. I don't
yeah,
Max Caster often pushes the line. He got suspended way back when for like talking about like Julia Hart sucking his dick in a rap or something. Not in real life, but like, something like that. And she was like 18 at the time. So like they suspended him and fined him or some shit. He's done this type of shit
I
before.
mean, I guess this is the time we lived in, but John Cena needs to do the same shit. So
Yeah, well, I gotta say, and like most of the time he gets away with it, but I'm like, I don't know if sex pestery is the right thing to reference
not
there, man.
yeah, not today's date. Like you can't get away with that shit no more.
You know, but so yeah. With that being said, that's the pre-show. Solid overall. We get to the actual card, and the card started with a fucking banger, man. Okada versus Pac was fantastic, dog.
Yeah,
Pac
I've
is
been a Pac fan
also
since.
one of my favorite underrated talents. You know what I'm saying? I've always
Yeah,
been a
definitely.
fan of Adrian Neville and shit. And I think that like his current, rebrand,
Facts.
like the Bastard Pack, I think is like the best like character he's had. You know what I'm saying? He's just an anti-hero here because Okada was the heel. So he was just he's like a bastard, literally. He's just over there. He's like, I don't give a fuck about good or bad. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you and take your title, you nerd.
Yeah, yeah. He has a like. That was talking about Orange Cassidy with a character like not like those type of characters like Pac has. He don't really have to change ever.
Yeah,
Like that's a natural character.
and I
Same
think
thing
that
like
like he
Randy Orton stuff
knows
like that.
like so Peck is such a small guy. Pause if necessary. That motherfucker is short, and he's like swole as a bitch. He's literally just like a small fucking angry
Yeah,
Wolverine type of
about to
character.
say remind me of Wolverine and shit.
You know what I'm saying? And like so, speaking of that, like he could, him and Orange Cassidy had a great dynamic with each other the couple of times that they've had stories. But I say that to say I think these type of characters are necessary because like Pac being himself, he can interact, with Okada, and then but then he could also do a story with Eddie Kingston if he wanted to, or with, Will Ospreay, or, etc. Like, I think that he has something that universally translates to most, stories and shit.
Yeah.
Whereas like Malachi Black or some shit, most of his shit is gonna be like spooky,
Yeah.
But
Yeah. This match was fire. Match was fire, but at the same
Okada's a
time,
good heel, man. Can we talk about that?
I was about to say that a little bit of the opposite. Like I'm not 100% sold on like him. Like he's I don't know what else he has to offer as a this big star that I'm hearing he is. Like
I think that he's playing the crowd well is my point, right? Because he's obviously not a native English speaker, so he's a little bit limited in terms of that. In the same way Shinsuke is, and the Hiroshi Tanahashi, etc. But like, the specifically the moment where Pac is down and it switches to the hard cam and he goes to pick him up for the Rainmaker and just flips the crowd off and the boos rain down. Like, that's good. Like, he's doing good heel. He's a shit-eating heel right now with the Young Bucks. You know what I'm saying? Like, they are his supporting cast, if we're being honest. Even their entrance, he's the centerpiece of the entrance. But so, like, I think that he's doing that right now. I understand what you're saying, where like he put on a good match. I think that this was the start. He debuted. He had a short, story with Eddie Kingston, won the title, and then he went on to this. Now, where he goes next will be important. Like I say, I think if they do him and Shibata, I think that would be a really good thing for both of them. You don't, like I say, you haven't like watched the shit, but I don't know if you've seen Shibata's thing because he don't speak English. That motherfucker just always has a cell phone, and it'll be the voice, talking about, I'm going to beat the shit out of John Moxley,
Yeah, I've seen a clip of that.
I think that shit is, pretty comedic and shit. But I think it'd be interesting to see their dynamic. Beyond that, I'm trying to think, like who are some, maybe Daniel Garcia and Okada could be good. Fucking, just like a few.
It's just in comparison. It's just in comparison because this match was good. But then I see Ospreay. I think Ospreay is the money maker right there. Like I feel like he would be a big.
Fair. Yeah, we'll get to that. That's fair. I say, in my opinion, the comparison, Okada is a bigger star. Ospreay is the better wrestler. Like, he's the better overall package.
But he's the better overall wrestling package in my opinion. Like, he can talk.
Like, okay, in WCW, like bringing in Hollywood Hogan is the bigger star, but the better person to like invest in, at that point in time would be like Eddie Guerrero or something, you know what I'm saying? Or like Diamond Dallas Page even, you know what I'm saying? These kinds of people. And I think it's a similar kind of mindset. But this was the best match on the show so far. You know what I'm saying? They did a great job. Okada won, left the ring. Pat got a standing ovation from the fans. So, they appreciate him, and I think that that's great. I just think that, like I say, this is why I like AEW, because it's like matches of people you never really thought you'd be able to see, happening often.
And right. Like AEW, that's one thing I'll give you. AEW is definitely for people that like the wrestling part of wrestling.
Yeah. And that's what AEW pay-per-view, like the weekly shows and shit, have their critiques, whether it be the stories or, this and that, etc., that people talk about. The pay-per-views don't really miss like that, though, because you have like 4 hours or so of action, and you can just go let the talents go out there and have 20-minute matches or so and let them, finish out the even some, I've seen bullshit stories get paid off with great matches, So I think that's what that is. After that, it was it the 6-man tag next?
6-man tag. Like I said, I can't barely remember all these matches.
It was the House of Black versus Copeland, Kingston, and Briscoe, right?
Okay, yeah. That was up.
Yeah, it was I think it was that next, because I think the other thing came after it. But House of Black versus the Rated Chicken Hawks. I enjoyed this match a lot, man. Like, I liked this shit a lot. Art notoriously does not like Eddie Kingston.
I don't. I don't. I can't. I just don't. I know he talks good, I guess, He does a little New York accent shit. It's not really impressive to me, but I can see why people like it. I don't really care about his matches at all. Like, and I like, and aesthetically, just not like that. You gotta be like I'm a Kevin Owens fan, so it's not about just aesthetically. He just don't look like somebody I would care about wrestling. Like he looked like he's still in the Indies to me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to watch TV and look at somebody that looks like he's an Indies job.
I was about to say that motherfucker, ever since him and Danielson, he calls himself the king of the bums and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he embraces that type of shit. So salute to him.
Yeah.
But this was a really good match, man. Like I say, they had specifically the spot with the triple spear was fucking shit was so choreographed well, man. You know what I'm saying? The House of Black is a fantastic trio at all times.
Yeah. Well, I'm not familiar with Brody King at all, but I like Aleister Black, and I like what's his name, Matthews.
Buddy Matthews is a fantastic worker. He is the workhorse of the group. Brody King is a big motherfucker who plays his part well, but he also does a lot of shit that big men should not be able to do. And Malachi, can lead, his troops and do the storyline mouthpiece shit. But also, like I say, people have been talking about, like, I don't know, this narrative right now that Malachi Black is not a good, like, wrestler, or at least even in singles matches and shit. Like, I don't think I agree. I'll have to see more. But
I think he's good. I think he's good. I like him in NXT. So.
Yeah, he does a lot of, like, cool, judo and jiu-jitsu inspired shit. It's Muay Thai, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Like, I think that it's a cool character. But
did him and Hook ever fight?
I don't think so.
That would be
yet, at least.
Some judo shit.
He so they did good. And the other team is just full of people that everybody loves. So they're so over that they didn't even have to do as good of wrestling as they did. You know what I'm saying? This storyline that they were on for a while, though, like, it needed to end. Mark Briscoe needs to go do something else now. He's a Ring of Honor world champ. I guess he'll be in Ring of Honor for a little while. Eddie needs to move on to something else. Copeland got misted in the eyes and then kicked in the fucking face. And, that was the victory. So it looks like they're leading into Copeland versus Malachi at Double or Nothing for the title. And I think that'll be a good, a good story for, to make Copeland's second reign feel, more important.
Very cool.
I don't know if I think Malachi will win, nor do I think that he should, but I think that it'll be good.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with everything that Edge is doing in AEW though, or Adam Copeland is doing in AEW.
All he's done since then. He got there, feuded with Christian for a long time, stopped, put a pause on it. He does open challenges and shit where he was like fighting different people, from Griff Garrison to Minoru Suzuki and shit. And now he's got the belt back after he finished that shit. And then he's done this story. He still does the open challenge tonight. He's actually going to fight Trevor Lee. Cameron Grimes, it was just released by WWE. He's fighting an open challenge tonight. So,
you serious?
Hell yeah, I saw it earlier today.
Oh, damn! Right to the fucking 90-day compete.
They overturned that.
I knew it was going to, but I didn't know it was going to be that sick. Damn, God,
I didn't either. I didn't think it would be that quick, but they
shout out my nigga Trevor Lee, man.
Get fucked 90-day non-compete.
That boy Tony Khan, bro. Tony Khan got a big ass heart. I'll say that.
I don't think he's signed, dude. He might.
I mean, he's not even if he's not signed, though. Like he
Edge just fought. Well, Copeland just fought Matt Cardona like not too long ago. Zack Ryder and shit. Like, so
yeah. But I know, like Tony Khan is like he knows Trevor Lee did the long crying video and shit.
He was crying and shit. I was like,
so Tony Khan knew how to pull on some heartstrings, man. Like, so he knew what he was doing.
Tony Khan is a good guy, man. From all accounts, you know what I'm saying. He likes.
I'm pretty sure he won't be. I won't be surprised if he gets signed.
In terms of wrestling, like he tries to do good shit for people.
Yeah, definitely.
But
the whole time he didn't want to fucking fire nobody.
That's a fact. Yeah. So yeah, that was a House of Black one. That was a good match. I think I can't remember now. It's been 2-3 days, but Brody was talking shit to somebody on the way up from the ramp. I can't remember if it was Eddie or Mark, but that might still be a thing. I'll get a little bit more into that later on. I believe the next match might have been the TBS title match, Willow and Julia. This is one of the matches that I was talking about when I said that there might have been two bad matches. This match, and it wasn't bad. I love Willow. I'm gonna marry her one day. I love Julia. You know what I'm saying? But they gave them like 6 minutes, man. They gave them 6 minutes to wrestle. From what I've heard, Julia might be hurt, something with her arm, maybe. So maybe they had to do it like that. And I love Willow, so I'm glad that she's getting her flowers and shit. But man, I wish this could have been better. They just Julia's reign has been okay. Like her whole story, you know what I'm saying, leading up to this shit with her and Statlander, when she got the title, she had two different great matches with Chris Statlander. One of them Sky Blue was there. Then she did, some open challenges from the looks of it and shit. But this has been the driving story. Like Julia Hart and Sky Blue and Chris Statlander and Willow, that's been a thing since like halfway through last year. This needs to be over. Like I don't need to see any more of this. It's okay. Move on. And it looks
From
like
what I've heard, Julia is not really that efficient in the ring, right?
I think she's pretty good. Like she's far better than she should be, at least. Like she's really young, and like she's gotten the chance. She's got one of the best moonsaults I've seen like in the business today. I'll say that. But
I gotta see because there's definitely some women that got some good moonsaults.
Yeah, like I say, like Tiffy's got one that's good.
EO.
Yeah, EO. There's a few women, but so this match was all right. It was short, you know what I'm saying? Right as it started to get going, it was over. Willow won, got her celebration. They did, the little tease of, oh, is Statlander gonna turn on her? No, she doesn't. Stokely Hathaway is there. He's good at what he does. I wasn't a Stokely fan. I'm still not like a huge Stokely fan, but he does some like really good things. My problem with Stokely is that like I just feel like he is like they just put him on screen 9 times out of 10, and he is like what white people think black people sound like.
I agree. He's like remind me like a knockoff MVP.
I was about to say I didn't like it when I felt like they had Bianca do that shit too. I think they had Jade do it to a lesser extent. I'm like, why is it every time y'all put black people on the screen, they have to use some shit that people don't say. Like people do not talk like this in real life, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like,
shit, I mean he's not black, but fucking Jey Uso with the E is kind of annoying. Like
who? Oh yeah,
Jey
yeah.
Uso. That shit is annoying. They like 5 years behind with everything when it comes to culture.
And that's how the wrestling business is, man. But yeah, so that was all right. Mercedes money comes out afterwards. You know what I'm saying? We have the little stare down and shit. She just basically shits all over Willow's moment, which was the point. I get it. They're building it now to be Willow versus Mercedes at Double or Nothing.
Yeah. So far, from what I've seen of her, since she's signed too, she might be in my Okada like reign too. As far as I'm not seeing her work right
she
now.
hasn't done nothing crazy yet. Like she's debuted. She's had a little bit of time, cut some all right, promos and whatnot. Did some commentary things, etc. But this right here is just an injury revenge angle. It's you hurt me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to win this title, be the first woman to win this title because of you. Now I'm coming to take your title. And she probably will. I hate that Willow's going to be a transitional champion, but I get the marketing aspect of it. At least
this is a TBS show. Is this like the secondary women's championship?
Yeah, it's basically like the women's TV title.
Okay.
Like it's the same thing as the TNT title that like Copeland has. Like it's important, but it is differently important than the rest of the titles. So like Willow will probably get to do a defense or two leading up to Double or Nothing, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Have some good TV matches, and then she'll probably lose it to Mercedes. And then I don't know where they'll go with it. There are options, I'm sure. But this, like I say, I'm not being too harsh yet because this is the introduction to somebody. It's the same way that I felt when they introduced Jay White and they had him in a feud with Ricky Starks. It was okay. It was solid. I just needed to see where they went afterwards.
Right.
But so that's that. I'm gonna go look at this fucking flyer. Make sure that I remember all this shit in order. It has been some days. So that's those three. I think next was Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. You were excited for this match.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it just because these are two names that I'm kind of familiar with as of recently because they haven't been in AEW that long.
Yeah.
I still remember them, and I still remember, especially when Kyle O'Reilly was getting his push at NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was kind of.
Kyle is just coming back from being gone for like over a year, maybe closer to 2. I can't remember what I want to say it was like a severe concussion or something, but like it, he was fucked up. His neck, his arm, etc. Like he was, he has talked about it since he's been back. Where like he couldn't use his arm for a while. He didn't know if he'd be able to. Couldn't hold his kid. All that shit. His current gimmick is he's pretty much just a fucking blue chipper and shit. He came back. He's like, I'm gonna do this all on my own. I'm gonna be great. And put in the work and etc. So Kyle's come back, had a couple of pretty good matches. Brian Keith and maybe Lee Moriarty too, someone like that, right? Roddy won the title off of Orange Cassidy as he should have, and hasn't done a whole lot since then. It's been Undisputed Kingdom shit mostly. He had like a couple of matches, but this is just like it's been the most on the back burner probably out of anything that is on this main card.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was a good match though. They did a pretty fucking good match. I wasn't as into it because Roddy is okay, Kyle is okay, but neither of them, like have the huge hype for me. I knew that like they were gonna do some good shit, and they did. Roddy won, which he should have, but I don't have a whole lot I got to say about this. There was fucking Wardlow comes out, and there was just a stupid fucking moment where he tried to get in the ring, and the ref caught him, and then nothing else happened. Like,
nothing happened after that. I was confused.
Like nothing happened, man. He didn't do anything, and then like Roddy just won off his own strength. I thought Wardlow was gonna like hit Kyle in the face with something or something. I don't know, but like it was nothing. I was pissed. That shit. I think I might have like took off of my rating for that match because of that. But I thought that was
I guess they maybe probably guys did this match to reveal Adam Cole can walk.
Yeah, and then afterwards, Adam Cole comes out. He can stand up. He can walk. He looked at Wardlow. He's pissed. He's probably gonna kick him out too because Wardlow lost to Joe and shit. This faction is just like not done.
I thought someone was going to come out for that. Like they should have just like nothing happened with Wardlow. Like he did the scowl at Wardlow, man. Like, and then nothing happened after that. Like they could have attacked him, some shit. Like
this faction has been stupid, man. It hasn't helped to get Mike, what is it? Mike Bennett, Matt Taven.
Yeah.
It hasn't gotten them over. Like they've been Ring of Honor tag team champs, haven't done much of anything. Roddy's got like they tried to do a thing where they're all gonna hold the gold and shit, but it hasn't done a whole lot of anything. Roddy hasn't gotten to do a whole lot. Cole has been like talking for them, but he's been injured. Like this faction has not panned out well at all. I assume they're gonna kick Wardlow out soon. People online are speculating that he might have to, ally himself with MJF now because of common enemies and shit, and come full circle on that story. We'll see. I don't know what'll happen, but I'm just.
How long does MJF have to come back?
Who the hell knows? So nobody even knows what all was wrong with him. Like I said, he might have been like working with a busted shoulder and leg and some shit. That motherfucker was putting in some effort before he left, man.
For sure.
But, I hope that he comes back soon. maybe they'll do that soon, you know, and that'll be for either Double or Nothing or it'll be for the second All In, and they'll 1 year of storytelling. That'll be cold. But yeah, that match was okay. Like I say, I think you should watch it, but I can't really talk. There was a lot of backbreakers. You know what I'm saying? He was just smoking this motherfucker's spine. Then I think you get to the other bad match. Chris Jericho fought Hook for the FTW title under FTW rules, which is just no DQ shit. Chris Jericho, like I say, some of these points I'm borrowing from other reviews and podcasts I've heard about this shit since then. Chris Jericho had the Lionheart gimmick, and fucking his theme was so over. Now they switched it to some old nostalgia bullshit, clearly in anticipation of working with the CMLL Luchadors, and I think they probably had some visa issues. So Jericho was like, well, I still need to be on the card. And then he started building a faction in the background, and Tony had to slap him with a newspaper. So he was like, hey, here, you can fight Hook. So they're doing this shit. Jericho's clearly going back to being a heel again. Like, I don't hate Chris Jericho the way everybody else hates Chris Jericho. I think he does a lot of good character work. I think sometimes he turns in some great matches. This right here has been fucking awful to watch because they tied this in with the Shane Taylor Promotions shit, and so I was just watching 3 people I don't care about in Hook be involved in nonsense. It's been bullshit. Jericho, he's doing this learning tree thing now, where I don't know if it'll be a faction or what he'll be doing, but he's a delusional veteran. I think it's like a low-key shot at CM Punk. And this match was okay, though. This match was okay, but it took a long time, and then fucking Jericho just won this bitch.
Yeah, I'm first of all, I've never been a huge Chris Jericho fan, since I'm talking about since Y2J era Chris Jericho. I haven't missed that maybe since 08. Not that I hated him, nothing. I just never was big on him. From what I just hear about him now recently, it just makes him seem like he's very unlikable.
Yeah,
as a person and a wrestler.
Go ahead.
Not that as a person and a wrestler, he just seems like he's a very unlikable guy.
A lot of people have narratives about Chris Jericho that I don't agree with. They're like, oh yeah, nobody benefits from being near him and etc. I don't agree with that. Action Andretti, he let a jobber fucking beat him to make his career. He's not Action Andretti isn't super over right now, but he's far more than what he ever would have been. You know what I'm saying? Ricky Starks, that shit didn't, help him insanely, but it did okay. You know what I'm saying? But certain shit, he never knows when to pull the ripcord on a story, man. He'd been fighting Don Callis and his family for ever. You know what I'm saying? And then he did the JAS shit. That was good, but it's overstayed its welcome. You know what I'm saying? Then it fizzled out. This shit right here is a long-term story build, I guess, for nothing. I don't know. Maybe Taz will go beat the shit out of Jericho now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm a big, I'm not a big Hook fan, but I'm with everybody that in AEW. That's one of my favorites to watch, just because he looked just like a cool character. I like the character. I like the he had a unique in-ring style.
And shit.
Yeah, he has especially when he first rolled him out, when he first his debut match. I love that about I love the presentation on him.
Yeah, and Hook has been getting a lot more of a push recently. He did a world title story with Joe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's doing this shit. Clearly they see something in him. He might be going to explore his options, and if so, that'll be cool, man. Go.
Yeah, man.
Go.
I already fantasy booked him in my head. Pause. I already got. You need to be a Paul Heyman guy. You need to. Either that or get a nice bad bitch to be on the microphone because you can't talk for shit.
Yeah, that'll be a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Maybe put him with Lola Vice or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Tiffany Stratton, but
yeah, maybe that could be. But
if not, but my other option would be him be a Heyman guy after Heyman's done with the Bloodline. Mm-hmm. I think that would be perfect for him. But yeah, he got promise though.
Yeah, like I say, some people made a good point where like the Judas effect, people don't kick out of the Judas effect. Like Moxley kicked out of one, but like nobody ever, kicks out of that shit. Hook kicked out of two of them, and then Jericho went and got a bat and was like, "Please don't make me do this shit." And then he just fucking murdered him with a bat, and then pinned him. So I guess
Right.
that makes Hook look really tough and strong, So salute to him.
Yeah.
But I don't think Jericho should have won this. I'll be patient and see where they go with this next. But it just seems so unnecessary, man. Like I don't know what the next step will be. But so we move on from that. Thunder Rosa versus Tony Storm. This was a good match. Tony
Yeah,
Storm
two good
is
wrestlers.
the best character in the women's now in AEW. I love Thunder Rosa. Some people don't like Thunder Rosa. They say, either she's boring or she sandbags or this and that. When Thunder Rosa wants to go, she goes. And I think I had been waiting a long time since she came back. I was like, Jesus Christ, are they just never going to address that she never lost this belt? But no, they gave her a chance to, finish that story out. It was a good match. Things are coming out of it. Maybe like she might do a story with Deonna Purrazzo now. I don't know. They've been kind of, fucking with that shit. Oh, that reminds me. I never brought it up earlier. Julia and Willow. After the Julia match, I've seen like some shit online where they showed like a vignette where like she's in the dark room or whatever, and she's crying and sad and fucked up. And Brody goes up to her and he takes his jacket off, puts it around her, and says, "Come on, now we rebuild. We've got some work to do." So I think that will be some interesting things that they'll do with their character. They're probably the two most interesting like people as a duo in the House of Black. So salute to them.
Okay.
I just thought of that right here. So I thought of that because like after this match, Tony Storm won as she should have. There were some great things through here. Tony came out looking like a fucking mime and shit. I saw what the reference was to. It's good character work. I didn't like it, but it is what it is.
What was the reference to?
It's like her gimmick is old Hollywood starlet and shit. And I've
Yeah,
seen
like
the picture. I don't
1950s,
know the
40s
woman,
and shit.
but I saw the picture. There's a woman with her face painted with the same mole and shit. One of the old Hollywood starlets and shit. I don't know the name, but I've seen the picture. It's a reference. It's good. But in the little press conference after the thing, Tony said some shit and she pissed a lot of people off. But the part that people aren't talking about is that a motherfucker was like, they have the rankings back in AEW. They were talking about the fact that Mariah May, her understudy, is, ranked whatever she is in the women's division and might be the next challenger. And Tony just got pissed and just stormed off and shit. Left Mariah like holding the belt and shit. So they're building to that. Obviously, it'll probably be maybe an all-in match. I think that the people who will take the belt.
What did she say that? What did she say that pissed people off?
No, like somebody. Oh, Tony. She was like, she was talking about like, cause she's the fucking. That's what people aren't getting. She like her gimmick is an old school movie starlet and shit. She's like everybody talking about their finishing stories and goosebumps and cinema. Go watch a fucking movie, and people are like, oh, can't stop talking about WWE. And I'm like, yes, that's what it is. But like, her character is a fucking Hollywood starlet. She's literally saying, I act in movies. Go see a fucking movie. Like.
Well, I kind of sometimes I join in on those comments like they
The little
can't talk
jabs
about.
and shit.
But I like this shit, bro. Like, why can't people? Why can't they? It's about competition. Like, I'm not mad at that shit.
Get it. They don't pay attention enough, so they don't understand.
Because at the end of the day, the fans won't do it anyway, so they can do it. They should be able to do it.
Yeah,
Of all people, they should do it.
A guy smashed a throne with a sledgehammer, and he's currently the WWE champion. Like,
right?
It will.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I promise it will.
No, I'm not a fan of like everybody coming out with their microphone just to this is our business and shit like that. That was kind of corny to Tony Khan. But like,
well, so
every now and then,
people have their own feelings about some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll say let them like have their feelings, but for fans to be more mad than the wrestlers themselves, that's fucking stupid.
Right. Like I'm pretty sure Triple H is not mad at all the money he's making right now
Not at all.
because fucking Tony Storm is saying watch a movie. Like,
You know what I'm saying? Cody's probably watching that shit laughing, you know what I'm saying? Laughing at some finish the story shit. But yeah, so this was a good match. I don't have like many spots to like talk about, but it was good. It was enjoyable. So like I say, they're setting up. I'm hoping Jamie Hayter comes back soon because I think the only people that'll take that belt from Tony will either be Jamie Hayter or Brian.
I'm happy for Tony Storm though, man. I remember that bitch went home in WWE. That bitch literally got on a plane and left out the building when she left.
They hit her
so
real
I'm happy
high,
she got her.
Man. Like,
yeah, she betted on herself. So
that
always
hit her, and that's what I'm saying. Like since then, she's won the women's title over there 3 times. Her first run was a really good, face run. She did a lot of workhorse stuff. Second run was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? She was doing like a horrible fucking story and gimmick and shit. And then the third run, she's just gotten herself over with character work. So she's very well-rounded. And people are also saying this was like the first really good title match of her reign. They said she just had one versus a Japanese star a couple weeks ago, and I saw that. I thought it was pretty good. I don't know if I think this was the first like good one. I fully can't remember, but I'm glad for her. Like I say, I think the only people that are going to take that belt from her are Mariah May or Jamie Hayter. So we'll see where that goes. All right, so after this, we get to the 3-headed beast. Ospreay and Danielson. You're gonna hear enough about it online. Yeah. I'm not gonna talk it to death. This is genuinely one of the greatest matches that I've seen, probably. I prefer Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay from Forbidden Door last year, but people are like, some people have this above that, and I'm not mad at it. It was fucking fantastic.
Daniel Bryan just is incapable of having a bad match.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, and I talked about like this past week. He might actually be the greatest wrestler, in my opinion, because of the fact that I said the ability, like he has good character. He can wrestle in the ring, but he has good character work, and he can do like gimmick matches really well. Like his gimmick matches rarely miss. Like he does, he did a strap match and got fucking Ricky Starks over. A couple Texas death matches with people. You know what I'm saying? He's done fucking Anarchy in the Arena, Blood and Guts, all that type of shit. Like he can do all of these types of things.
All right, so we gonna talk about the match, but like this is my thing about
like
this because
television said he just watched his highlights. He's ass.
Well, like he ain't watched that shit.
Yeah, he did.
But this is my thing about Daniel Bryan and Lions go. Ain't both of them in like heel factions right now?
Who?
Ospreay and that ain't what's it called?
BCC in heel right now.
They're not heel.
No, they like Will Ospreay is a face in a heel faction, and
BCC
is at the very worst neutral. Like they've been heel and shit, but like they go however it goes based off the story. Like Danielson might have been the heel against Eddie Kingston, and then he's the face against fucking Ospreay.
Because my thing with Ospreay is, he's in his heel faction. To my understanding, he's fought pretty much everybody in his faction just to have for the sake of having good matches. Yep. So like, eventually they'll break up and shit with him. Like, what are you going to do? Fight him again?
Well, no, I think what I think will happen. I think the breakup is probably coming pretty soon. I think that was that part of what the end of this is going to be. And I think when he breaks up, like Mark Davis is out right now with an injury, but I think hopefully he'll be back soon. He got injured like Wrestle Dream or so, I think. So it's been about 6 months, but he had a hurt wrist. But I assume that Ospreay will take Kyle Fletcher with him, and they'll reform the United Empire and probably put an end to this Don Callis family shit, because it'll be Powerhouse Hobbs, Konosuke Takeshita, and some third person probably. and that'll be like how that goes.
Okay, so
But yeah,
I'm a fan of
I
Ospreay.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Ospreay now though. He's
Kyle
definitely
Fletcher's finna fight Swerve Strickland tonight, so that'll be good for him. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. But yeah, this match is fucking phenomenal. There's a bunch of spots I can name. The Os cutter off the ropes into the Psycho knee. You know what I'm saying? He damn near killed him with that bitch. Obviously, the Western gunslinger style shot of Danielson in the corner, you know, doing the yes chance with his eyes closed while Ospreay takes his elbow pad off. The only thing I
right.
wish that Danielson would have pulled his knee pad down because I think that would have been like, you know, it's like both pause. It's like two samurais like unsheathing their swords about to fucking duel and shit.
Right.
I think that would have been clean, but that final, you know, confrontation is fantastic. Um, you know, Danielson hit a fucking Hurricane Rana off the top rope and like landed on his fucking neck and got up. You know what I'm saying? They were trying to kill each other, dog. But I think it was fantastic. However you rate it, you know, it's the match of the night though. As it was always going to be. Uh, you know, they did the thing at the end where like Danielson, you know, was acting like he was having a seizure. He had fucked himself up because he got dropped with that Tiger Driver, and then Will Ospreay, you know, hit the hidden blade for the win, and then he was supposed to be injured afterwards. What I think happens now, Danielson goes away for a while to sell that injury, comes back like Nigel McGuinness is gonna talk shit on him the whole time while he's gone. And then Danielson's gonna come back and be sick of this shit. He's gonna be like, "Oh, you almost lost my career and this and that." He's gonna get on his ass, and they're gonna do that at All In, and that'll be the end of Danielson's full time career. He'll come back next month.
Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be cool.
they were
He
gonna
has a
do it
wrestle.
last year, but Danielson got hurt. He broke his arm against Okada.
Oh, that'd be unique.
It's been leading to it, man. They're building to it, but I think that this is how they do it. Ospreay goes on. Probably does this Don Callis family shit, and then I think eventually at All In he'll probably fight Swerve for the belt.
Ospreay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that'd
Was
be
this
cool.
how many Will Ospreay matches have you seen before this?
I ain't gonna lie to you. I've seen this one. I've seen him. I've seen half of him versus Omega, and the only other thing of Osprey I seen was that
Him and
fucking
Orange
viral
Cassidy.
clip. No, I didn't see that one. I've seen the only other thing of Osprey I seen was that viral match
With
years
him
ago
and
with him and
Ricochet.
Ricochet. Yeah,
Yeah.
that Jim
Yeah.
Cornette hates. But
So you like, you know, you think Will Ospreay is good though, you were saying earlier.
yeah, he's good. I didn't know, but I did at first before I did. I thought he would just be another just
Like a
flippy
young
dude.
buck.
Yeah, I thought he was good. Yeah, I didn't think he would be somebody that I could see star power in, but I could see it now.
Yeah, Will Ospreay, he cuts a good promo. He's got, you know, phenomenal in-ring work. You know, he's somebody, obviously AEW is building around him and they're going to push, you know, so salute to him. Yeah, like I say, I don't want to just dwell on this, but it's a fantastic match, one of the best matches. People are calling it like one of the best matches, at least on American soil, and I think that that's fair.
Yeah, man.
Salute to them.
Only Osprey worked a little harder, man. If he wanted to work some more, he could have went with Triple H in him, you know.
Yeah, he could have had that kind of match with the Miz, huh?
He could have redid the classic with Ricochet.
Oh no, he could have fought Gunther, man. That would have been
Oh,
fire.
that would have been fire. Or Osprey versus Logan Paul. Come on now,
Yeah, I'm
SummerSlam.
about to say they fought before, but
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
so FTR versus Bucks with a ladder. It was never going to be bad. Obviously, they did a tag tournament because Sting and Darby, like they won and they retired with the titles. The tournament was okay. It wasn't that great. You know, they called an audible, so Top Flight got to shine some more. I appreciate that. Ricky Starks is hurt currently as a result, though, so that is what it is. You know, it led to this. They showed CM Punk fighting Jack Perry leading up, you know, to sell the fight and shit. Questionable move by the internet. But the match itself especially for having to go after this shit, was fucking amazing. You know what I'm saying? It was a very different kind. I give them both 5 stars, but it's a different kind of 5-star match. This was, just they did a lot of things with weapons. You know what I'm saying? They did a lot of, good character work. Obviously, I don't, have time to list them all, but, Cash went flying through a fucking table and shit because I think Nick moved out the way. Nick or Matt, I can't remember. But he went flying through and crashed through a table. Dax did a pile driver on a ladder, and the ladder fell. I thought that somebody might have died. They did a lot of good shit, man.
Yeah. Because I'm not the biggest fan of super gimmick matches, and I'm not a fan of the Young Bucks at all. They did that thing, man. I can't hate too much about them, but like I said, the Young Bucks and FTR are always gonna have a good match, pretty much.
And then
but
this
like,
current Young Bucks, rebrand has helped them a lot. I think it's better. It's more interesting than the last thing they were doing. So
it's not. I'm not a fan of it still, but I guess, but it be very. I mean, I guess it's supposed to be.
It's unique. You know what I'm saying?
It's supposed to be. I guess they're supposed to be obnoxious and stuff, but like it still gives me go away heat.
Dickhead bosses. You know what I'm saying?
But
they're abusing their power and shit. FTR, I don't know where they go from here. I'm gonna be honest, I guess if they continue, they'll do this. Obviously the scapegoat Jack Perry jumped out, pushed Dax off the ladder to cost them the match and shit. He got unmasked after being manhandled by the security, and the crowd popped. So that time away in Japan has done him some good. I am not an idiot, so I remember what Jack Perry was like as a heel before All In, and it was not that great. I have seen clips of what he did in Japan, and I'm pretty sure that, this being a different character, this is better. But time will tell if it's just a bunch of heat behind somebody who can't carry it.
I don't think he's gonna be able to carry it. I don't think he's not good on the mic. Like for what I've seen anyway, he's not good. He's not good on the mic. And I feel like once he get on the mic and cut promos, and is he gonna be able to? Is he gonna be able to combat them CM Punk chance that's inevitable?
He's going to he's got a good supporting cast now, so I think it'll be interesting. However that shit works. I don't know what the new Elite is going to look like. Obviously, it's going to be Jack Perry, the Bucks, Okada. I don't know if Hangman's going to come back and be a part of it or not.
Shit, I forgot about Hangman.
But we'll see. Great match. Shout out to them. By the time the world title match came around, I'm not gonna lie, I was tired. I didn't pay as full attention just because I knew what was going to happen here. Swerve versus Joe was only ever gonna go one way. Swerve came out with Killmonger inspired gear. That was clean as fuck. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
They obviously, they had the Joe is Samoan. They got the African American first world champion, and then they made sure that the ref was also African American. So this was intentionally historic, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm not mad at it. I think it was a good choice. People like Swerve, but I do need him to do some interesting things after this. That motherfucker just randomly became a face because people like him and his dance and his theme music. Like he just broke into a man's house. Like
I'm about to say this man did this nigga used to just terrorize Keith Lee.
Bro, yeah,
not that long ago.
Stomped a cinder block on Keith Lee chest. I got to assume they're gonna do something with that here soon. That's a 2022 feud, so I'm not excited. But go ahead.
I've seen a lot of those clips too. Like that shit just wasn't good either. Like
give Swerve a title defense. You know what I'm saying? Let him beat Keith Lee. Let it be over with. Keith deserved to win, but that time has since passed far.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I say, I don't know where it goes to next. Not Adam Cole right now, because he's hurt, I think, still. Maybe Christian. Maybe we can get a Christian story.
Shout out Swerve, man. This nigga Vince McMahon kept top dollar and left and not him.
Hey, man.
Or brought top dollar back and not him.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, Swerve went, and you said about Tony. Swerve went and bet on himself, man.
Yeah.
It worked out for him. Salute to him.
Definitely.
He deserves it. They'll eventually do him and Hanger part 3. I don't like it because I don't think Hangman will win this one, and I don't think he should just lose 3 times to Swerve, but it is what it is. Obviously they're gonna do the Ospreay match. Other than that, like, you know, as far as top heels go, I don't know who will will be fighting him next, because Okada's busy. You know, I don't know. I guess I'll have to just wait and see.
I've seen some matches in the Discord. I can't remember what it was, but I think I did see Swerve versus Okada would be good.
Yeah, I mean it'll be good, but I just, you know, it's not the time for that at the moment. That should be funny. They fucking Jack Perry helped them win the tag time match. They're like, here, you get a world title shot against Swerve. We get Jack.
That'll be interesting. Like, that'll be interesting. I wouldn't be mad at that.
That shit is fucking hilarious, man.
I wouldn't be mad at that. You don't gotta have. They don't have to be like heels and shit. Like, I can see a Swerve versus Edge or some shit, or a Swerve versus.
But all in all, great show. You know what I'm saying? They did what they needed to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, Swerve versus Adam Cole if he's healthy.
Yeah. When that happens, I'm sure that'll be something they do. Yeah, man. I don't think I got too much else to say about this shit.
Good event for my first AEW event. I expected a lot of silly shit going on. It wasn't too much. But I guess I could watch Dynamite and see that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was like I say, I understand people critiquing the weekly product. You know, there are some things that but that's how it is. Like, I'll complain and I'll like critique some shit, but I'll watch the fucking thing. These motherfuckers don't watch this shit and be talking crazy. Like, now I gotta like defend some shit, and you don't even watch the motherfucker.
Right.
But so, I mean, like I say, the pay-per-views are always good, though. I don't know about Double or Nothing because they're going back to Vegas, and last year's Vegas crowd was shit. So I don't know how good Double or Nothing will be, but we'll see. That's the next stop. You know, it is what it is.
That's cool.
All right, everything good?
Yeah, I think you covered everything.
All right, man. Real Rap Coalition podcast, man. Thank y'all for joining us. You know, y'all go watch the pay-per-view if y'all haven't already. We're supposed to review X-Men today, so that'll, happen soon, hopefully. And y'all join us on Friday for her. We're out of here, man.
Peace.